I'm going to set up Xeno. Well, it's basically setting up Xorg. Let's just call it that. Or the X server. So I'm going to share my screen. All right. So there we go. We are sharing the screen now. Right. So I'm going to need to log in. So I'm going to log in as root, I think. Can't remember my password for a minute. All right. So let's go to the documentation. So the X window system. So this is the same really as Linux, but they obviously do certain things. Okay. And OpenBSD ships with all these window managers. The other packages are available. Runs. So I don't like reading this stuff out, but I'll read it out. Okay, so the X window system is the environment which provides graphical services to OpenBSD and other Unix-like systems. By itself, X provides very little, since one also must have a window manager to present a user interface. Okay. Not worried about that. Okay, configuration. For the majority of hardware, X requires no configuration at all. Starting X. So this is where XenoDM comes in. So XenoDM is a recommended way to run X. It's the display manager. It offers some important security benefits over the traditional startx command. If XenoDM wasn't enabled during installation, it could be done so later like any other system daemon. On some platforms, you'll need to disable the console to use it. Okay. So there's some customization. So let's see if it's actually running. I'm just going to have a look at chat, see what's happening. Not a lot. Okay, cool. Okay, so let's do XenoDM. Let's see what happens. Ooh. There we go. So there's XenoDM, okay? That's what it looks like. Now, where I said in a previous video, my kind of issue with this is it's good for security, but when I start up X, I just want to go into X. I don't want to have to log in again. Now, I know there's ways around this and there's certain ways you can do things. It's just not for me. OpenBSD, this is what they suggest. So I'm going to go in as root, put in my password, and are in Xterm, the terminal on, I can't even remember what this is called. I think this is FVWM. Is this FVWM? Virtual Window Manager. FVWM is the window manager for X11. Okay. Derivative of TWM, Tom's window manager. Now, obviously, I'm going to not use this, basically. I'm not going to use this. But let's look at like doing some customization. Then I'm probably going to install like i3 or something. Maybe I should do DWM, but no, I'm not going to. You know my feelings on that. So customization. OpenBSD's default X environment is fully functional, but you may wish to customize it. When an Xsession is started, shell scripts in a user's home directory can be used to start as many programs as desired. Most of the programs in these scripts should run in the background, but the last one, typically the window manager, should run in the foreground. When the window manager exits, the script will also exit, and X will return to the XenoDM. After the user logs, okay, the etc x11 XenoDM Xsession script checks whether there's a home Xsession script. User Xsession script will contain only one line specifying the preferred window manager launch. It can contain any number of commands, however. So export. Okay, so we're setting our environment to home.kshrc. So instead of like bash rc, xset root, solid gray, and xterm background black, foreground white, plus SB and then CWM. Okay, let's try that. Let's see what happens. Now, I'm not necessarily again I'm not interested in CWM, but let's have a look. So of course I'm in root. I'm not in my user. So cd root. So there's an Xsession in root. Xsession errors. Okay. Now the problem is I haven't set up do as. So if problem is if I log in, let's do pkill XenoDM. Okay. So if I exit and I go open, what do I call open test is my login? Root. No, what am I talking about? If I do XenoDM, is this going to work? Only root wants to run XenoDM. Okay. What the hell? I'm going to set it up. I'm going to do this in reverse. Now, I know it's probably not good practice, but hey, it's a learning experience. I'm going to set up root XenoDM because I haven't set up do as. We're going to do that in another video. It's probably not a good way to do about it, but hey, whatever. So let's come out of that. Let's go back into root. Now I could go into SU, but I think I'm going to have the same problem. Let's try, actually, let's try open test, see how we go. Do SU, OpenBSD test. Oh, I basically just logged in as root. What am I doing? XenoDM, OpenDM, what is that? Okay, let's see how this goes. Open test. PWD, home, open test. Okay, so it's recognizing my home is there. Let's try it that way. It's my compromise. See what chat's saying. Zlatlan Omarovic, anyone experienced or using Open Free Net BSD as a daily driver for a standard web dev of today? I use Docker, various tools like Postman, JetBrains tools. I'd like to switch to OpenBSD. I've seen criticism that Xorg and Wayland aren't really free or open in spirit. I came across something called XLibra, which claims to be free alternative. What's your take on it? Is it better? Okay, so I don't know if you're asking me. Well, let's put this in perspective with Xorg, okay? So Xorg is basically being deprecated, right? So the people who control it, free desktop, Red Hat, don't want to develop it, don't want to maintain it. They want Wayland to replace it. Wayland is in the distros now, okay? Now, obviously, there's been this controversy over Xorg or X11, where the only real developer in it got kicked out of the project, or he wanted version control. So Xorg wasn't getting any new versions, and he wanted to create new versions. He wanted a proper release schedule. He was going to maintain it all. He wanted new releases. Free Desktop and Red Hat basically didn't want that. So he forked the project on Free Desktop on their servers. He upset them, so they banned his project, banned him from Free Desktop. So now it's on whatever it's called. It's on GitHub. Now, if you watch Brody's video, this sort of covers that, Brody Robertson. But the problem with Xlibra is going to be, it's not in the package manager repos. You're not going to find it in your package manager, except for maybe like the AUR. That's my impression. Correct me if I'm wrong. It is in the AUR. Now, I don't know how good it is, or reliable, unreliable. Maybe I should test it out. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a stream where I test out the Xlibra. Is that a good idea? Yeah, I'm going to test it out. Maybe I'll do that in the next stream. Yeah, Xlibra is in the Artix testing repo. Oh, okay, that's interesting. Do you use GitLab or GitHub? Yeah, I use GitHub. Not really a fan of it, but if you go on my website, you can see my repository. Okay, so I'm going to go back to configuring Xsession. Okay, so I want export env equals home. Oh, I don't have Vim installed, do I? Got to update my packages. Let's update the packages. Oh. If I can get out of here. Can't remember the commands. Let's open this. Ooh. Package management. I want to do pkg, is it add u to update? Pkg add u, okay. Always update your packages, guys. I think it's updating. How can I make this bigger? Is that bigger? Whatever. I don't know what happened there, but I'm guessing that's updated. And then was it, do you just do pkg add vim? Okay, yeah. What do I want? Choose package for vim, none. What happens if I do 0? Well, obviously I want a package, I just don't want whatever these are. So what do I want? I don't want GTK, no X11. Okay, 6. I just want Vim. I don't want wrappers or whatever. Let's try that. Okay, I don't like the look of this window manager. I'm gonna come out of this and do it in a TTY. Right, let's do pkill XenoDM. Right. Okay, let's go Vim Xsession errors. What So do I need to create Xsession in open test? Okay. Looks like I need to create. Looks like I need to create home.xsession. Okay. Let's see how this goes. I think it's all lowercase, isn't it? Hopefully this is going to be right. So let's do export env equals home, like this, dot ksch, I don't even know, conch shell or whatever it's called. KSHRC, oh yeah, it's like bash RC, KSHRC. KSHRC. Okay. I think that looks right. No, it doesn't. What am I doing? Slash dot. This is the directory dot KSH. Okay. What do I want next? So exit root solid gray, like that. And then we want and because it's running in the background. Okay. Oh no, don't want it like that. Solid gray, and I think that's right. And then we want xterm. We want xterm background black, foreground white. Yeah, that sounds good to me. Plus SB, I don't know what that is. I don't know, see what happens. And anybody know what plus SB is? And let's see what happens. Let's run CWM. Am I going to regret this? I don't know. Right, quit that. Let's do XenoDM. Okay, let's log in as open test. Oh, well, it's a bit better. I don't know what the super key does. How do I open a new terminal? How do I even move this? So weird. Okay, I can't do that. I'm going to p-kill that. P-kill XenoDM. I need to be SU, don't I? P-kill XenoDM. P-kill XenoDM. Okay. Let's have a look at chat, see what you're saying. Did you use OpenSUSE in your career? Nope. No, I never used Linux in my career, to be honest. Always been Windows in my work life, if that makes sense. Ironfist, hello Ironfist. Mateus, what are your thoughts on declarative program for system configuration like Ansible or Nix? Okay, so I don't know about Ansible really, but with Nix, I don't want to have to learn a programming language to do a configuration file, if that makes sense. Because Nix is its own language, right? I mean, I'm sure if I did learn it, it would be amazing. Everybody says Nix OS is amazing. I'm just not going to do that. Maybe I will. It's silly when I say these things like, oh, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do this. Maybe I will. But at the moment, I'm just not feeling it. So who knows? One day I might do a Nix OS install. We can play around with it and whatever. Oh, scroll bar. Yes. Don't know, is it plus scroll bar? This indicates scroll bar should not be displayed. Okay. Yeah, so you know what? I like that. I do not like the scroll bar. So if it's not being displayed, that's good. That doesn't mean I don't want to scroll up using key bindings like shift, page up, or whatever key binding. Install DWM. No, I'm not going to install DWM because, like I said, DWM should be compiled right, and I'm not going to compile in a binary distro. It just feels wrong to me. DWM suckless is great, but I'm not going to do it. Maybe I will like play around with it in a stream, see how it works on OpenBSD, but I know I'm kind of boring with this, with just doing i3 all the time, but that's what I use. And so it doesn't mean I won't play around. Maybe I will in another stream, but I am going to just install i3 and see what happens. So let's have a look. So what do I want to do? I want to do pkg add -u. I am in SU. Okay, let's do pkg add i3. Is it just under i3? I don't know. Okay, that looks good. Sometimes it's like i3wm or i3-wm. Wayland. Where's Wayland come from? Whoa, what does that mean? Surely if it's Wayland, it'd be Sway, wouldn't it? Is that the same Wayland? I don't understand that. Don't understand at all. D menu, terminus font. So I need to change, I'm going to change CWM to i3. Okay. Copy the provided user local share examples. Okay. So I presume copy is the same. It's interesting to copy to i3status.conf. So you don't have like a folder. You have home / really? Different on OpenBSD then. This is the thing. OpenBSD obviously does things a certain way. Okay, so I presume that there is one in there then. So I haven't got do as, so let's do, presume I can do man cp. Okay, cool. I've forgotten what, oh yeah, I can page shift up. Love the buffer. Linus Torvalds' biggest mistake was removing the buffer. And he did that for security. But OpenBSD have kept the buffer in their TTY. Okay, so I want user local share examples, i3 status. Before running i3 status, things I don't care about i3 status because I don't want a status bar, so maybe I'm not going to do that. Let's just change this to i3. Shouldn't it be exec i3? I feel it should be like exec i3. Again, this is the way they do it, I guess. Right. Let's do XenoDM. Let's do open test. Put my password. Enter. Oh, I probably want all because virtual machine stuff. Okay, why have I got X console? Just why have I got that? What is going on? Why have I got one? Why is it spawning screens that are... Okay, seriously need to do some configuration here. I don't even understand what's going on here. So where is the configuration file? Does it set one up automatically? Ooh. Doesn't scroll down for some reason. Okay, so I've got my i3 config. Let's make this bigger. Pango. I want mono, really. Mono space. Let's do 14. XDG auto start or whatever. Network manager. Linux. Can't talk about Linux on OpenBSD. What's that all about? Floating windows, whatever. Start terminal. Start terminal. Yeah. Oh, I see. I see. It's start. The config has it starting its own i3 terminal. I want xterm. I don't want D menu. I know that's controversial, but I don't need D menu. We'll leave all that. That's fine. Whatever. Resize the window. I don't want a status bar. Well, I can't even see the status bar because I guess it did say you had to do something with the config. Anyway, let's try that. Let's right quit that. I can't remember what the reload is. I always just p-kill this stuff. p-kill XenoDM. Okay, let's see what happens now. XenoDM. Test. Whoa. Okay. I don't understand that. Still not great. Why is it done it like that? Whatever, anyway, we got i3 now. It's not perfect. Well, it's certainly not perfect. But that's fine. I'm just going to leave it like that now. We got XenoDM running. We got i3 running. It's certainly not great, but I presume it's the same sort of setup with Linux configuration-wise. I mean, it even mentions Linux. So they've just literally packaged i3 from Linux to OpenBSD from the look of it. So maybe I'll look at the configuration I do for Linux or whatever. I know it's controversial, whatever. Let's do this. Yeah, so I'm just going to leave it there today. I'm just going to do some little stages, just play around the quirks with OpenBSD. So I'm just going to kill this now. Kill this. So power off Remember, got to do the OpenBSD way, power off, -P now. Power off not found. Shutdown, -P now. That's what we want. Okay, has arrived. Syncing disks, yep, nice. There we go. Slowly but surely, this is not a race.